The story begins with Laura, a well-known journalist who is famous for writing powerful, real-life stories. Every article she publishes becomes a massive hit, boosting her magazine's success and reputation. While her colleagues celebrate her latest viral piece, Laura receives an unexpected invitation from a wealthy family for a luxurious 3-day yacht trip. Excited by the opportunity, she immediately accepts, and even her boss grants her leave without hesitation, impressed by her performance. Soon, Laura arrives at the grand yacht, where she is welcomed by several high-profile guests. But her excitement takes a hit when she unexpectedly runs into Ben, someone from her past she had cut ties with completely. Laura clearly doesn't want him to ruin her trip, but Ben quickly reads her expression. Calmly, he tells her that he feels the same way, and that they should both forget the past and not reopen anything between them. Laura agrees silently and moves on. She is assigned cabin number 8, while cabin 10 is right next to hers. Shortly after, she notices someone smoking in cabin 10, and as the yacht begins moving, cigarette butts fall into her room. Annoyed, she simply throws them into the dustbin. Later, all the guests gather and introduce themselves. That's when Laura learns that Ben is on the trip as a photographer. As night falls, everyone is invited to a formal dinner hosted by a wealthy man named Richard. During the dinner, Laura is unexpectedly called away by Richard's wife, Anne. Despite the luxury surrounding her, Anne reveals something shocking. She is terminally ill and has only a few days left to live. Anne tells Laura that she is a huge fan of her writing and asks her to read something she has written. As Laura reads it, she is stunned to discover that Anne has decided to donate all her wealth to a trust. Confused, Laura asks her why she would do such a thing. Anne calmly explains that, since she is dying, she wants her wealth to help others. She believes that people come into this world empty-handed and leave the same way, so there is no point in holding on to material things. Anne also reveals that she plans to officially announce this decision at the end of the trip. After saying this, she carefully hides the will in a locker and conceals the key among some books, all of which Laura quietly witnesses. As Laura returns to her room, she runs into Ben again. For a moment, they begin to reconnect, but Laura quickly stops herself and walks away, not wanting to reopen old emotions. That night, something unusual happens. Laura suddenly wakes up to strange noises coming from cabin 10. Curious and concerned, she steps out to investigate. What she sees next shocks her completely. From a distance, she witnesses a man inside cabin 10 pushing a woman into the sea. Panicking, Laura immediately alerts the crew. Everyone wakes up and a search operation begins. But despite their efforts, they find no trace of anyone in the water. Laura insists that she saw the woman fall with her own eyes. However, when the crew checks the guest list and confirms everyone's presence, they begin to doubt her story. To them, it seems like Laura may have had a nightmare or is hallucinating. But Laura knows what she saw, and she is certain that something is terribly wrong on this yacht. The crew insists that cabin 10 was never opened, but Laura refuses to back down. She explains that before dinner, she felt like someone was following her, so she hid inside cabin 10. The cabin was clearly open, and she even saw a girl taking a shower inside. She tries to prove her point by mentioning the cigarette filters that had fallen into her room on the first day. But when she checks the dustbin, the filters are gone. Someone has clearly removed them. This only strengthens her suspicion that something is being hidden. Despite this, everyone dismisses her claims and walks away, believing she is either lying or imagining things. The next morning, Laura takes the matter directly to Richard, the owner of the yacht. At her request, he gathers the crew, checks the guest list, and even reviews the CCTV footage. But just like before, there is no evidence. Everything appears normal, and Laura is left more confused than ever. Desperate for answers, she approaches Anne and tells her everything. But Anne's behavior has suddenly changed. She seems distant and uninterested. She tells Laura that she has taken her medication and cannot focus on anything right now, then goes to sleep. Feeling isolated, Laura turns to Ben and shares everything with him. But instead of supporting her, Ben warns her to stay out of it. He reminds her that the people on this yacht are extremely powerful, and getting involved could destroy her career. He urges her to stop investigating and just enjoy her break. But Laura cannot ignore what she saw. She asks Ben if he took photos during the event. While going through the pictures, she suddenly spots the same girl she had seen in cabin 10. This shocks her. She immediately shows the photo to Richard, but once again, he denies ever seeing anyone like that. No one believes her. Frustrated and exhausted, Laura finally stops trying to convince others. Later, while taking a shower, something terrifying happens. Someone writes the word "stop" on the foggy glass in front of her. Shocked, she quickly puts on a robe and runs out to catch whoever did it, but she cannot see the person's face. She immediately calls the crew and asks them to check the CCTV footage. But at that exact moment, the cameras are not working. This confirms her fear. Something is seriously wrong on this yacht. Determined to uncover the truth, Laura decides to investigate on her own, quietly and carefully. She climbs out through her bathroom window and sneaks into cabin 10. Inside, she goes to the bathroom where she had seen the girl earlier. When she opens the drain, she finds strands of hair. Carefully, she collects them in a tissue, realizing this could be solid proof. She takes the hair to Ben and shows it to him, telling him that this is evidence of the girl's existence. She is now convinced that the girl was murdered, and she is determined to find out who she was. However, things take another strange turn. Laura receives a call from a well-known influencer who warns her to stop digging into this matter. The person tells her that even if she finds something, it won't harm these powerful people, but it will definitely destroy her career. Laura listens but refuses to back down. She continues her investigation and shows the photo of the mysterious girl to the cabin crew. But once again, they claim they have never seen her before. She then asks them if it is possible for someone to secretly bring a girl onto the yacht. The crew explains that it would be nearly impossible, as every person must pass strict security checks before boarding. This only deepens the mystery. If no one entered, then who was the girl Laura saw? The next morning, Laura is standing near the grill, enjoying the calm ocean view, when suddenly, someone pushes her from behind. She loses balance and falls, but instead of plunging into the sea, she lands in the yacht's swimming pool. What seems like a stroke of luck quickly turns into a nightmare. The person who pushed her had already locked all the pool gates from the outside. Laura panics, trying desperately to open them, but none of them budge. She is trapped. The pool is visible from the meeting deck, and just in time, a woman notices her struggling. She rushes to open the gate and saves Laura's life. When Laura regains consciousness, she finds Ben, Richard, and Anne's doctor standing around her. Instead of concern, they dismiss her fears. Richard and the doctor suggest that she is mentally exhausted, that her work stress has affected her mind. They tell her to rest and stop creating unnecessary trouble, claiming that her actions are disturbing everyone's trip. But Laura refuses to stay silent. She tells them firmly that she saw a girl in cabin 10 who was murdered, and that the same person is now trying to kill her. She explains that the push and the locked pool gates were not accidents, they were planned. Trying to prove herself, Laura rushes to get the hair she had hidden earlier. But when she checks, the evidence is gone. Someone has taken it. Now, doubt begins to creep in. The only person she had told about the hair was Ben, making her suspicious of him. But the truth is more complicated. Someone else had overheard their conversation that day. With no proof left and no one believing her, Laura feels completely defeated. She quietly returns to her room, trying to process everything. Moments later, there is another knock on her door. This time, Laura doesn't hesitate. She immediately runs after the mysterious hooded figure she sees. The girl leads her all the way to the engine room, and finally, Laura manages to catch her. When she pulls off the girl's hoodie, she is shocked. The wig falls off, and it reveals Anne. Before Laura can react or tell anyone, Anne strikes her on the head, knocking her unconscious. Hours later, Laura regains consciousness in a locked space. She tries to escape but realizes the stairs have been removed, leaving her trapped. After some time, the girl returns. Laura, now piecing everything together, confronts her. She says that she understands the truth, that this girl is not Anne but someone pretending to be her. She accuses her of killing the real Anne to take control of her wealth. But the girl breaks down and denies everything. She reveals that she never intended for things to go this far. She admits that she was brought onto the yacht by Richard. At that moment, everything becomes clear to Laura. Anne had planned to donate all her wealth to a trust, and Richard could not accept losing everything. So he created a plan. He found a woman who looked exactly like Anne and brought her here to impersonate her. Richard had even written a speech for her. All she had to do was publicly declare that she was transferring all her wealth to him. As Laura tries to stop her, the impersonator leaves for the event to carry out the plan. Meanwhile, Ben grows suspicious of Laura's sudden disappearance. He goes to check her room, but Dr. Maida comes out and stops him. He lies, saying Laura is unwell and has been sedated, and that Ben cannot see her right now. But Ben senses something is wrong. And unknown to him, Dr. Maida is secretly working with Richard. Richard quietly instructs the doctor that the moment Laura is found, she must be injected with poison. Unaware of their plan, they think everything is under control. But the girl impersonating Anne overhears this conversation from the bathroom and realizes that Laura is in grave danger. That same night, while everyone is asleep, she secretly goes to Laura and warns her that they are planning to kill her. Laura listens carefully and then tells her something even more shocking: that once she completes their plan, she will become their biggest liability, and people like Richard never leave witnesses alive. Hearing this, the girl breaks down in fear, but Laura reassures her that she will survive and that together they will expose the truth and punish the real culprits. With her help, Laura manages to escape. She immediately heads to Anne's room, finds the hidden key among the books, unlocks the drawer, and retrieves the original will. She hides it safely, knowing it is the most important piece of evidence. Before she can leave, Richard and Dr. Maida arrive to kill her. The doctor chases Laura through the yacht's corridors with a poison-filled injection. Just when it seems like she has no way out, Ben appears and intervenes, grabbing the doctor to save her. But in the struggle, the injection pierces Ben instead. Within moments, he collapses, sacrificing his life to save Laura. Devastated, but with no time to grieve, Laura jumps into the freezing ocean to escape. Richard watches helplessly, but the doctor assures him that no one can survive in such cold water. Believing she is dead, Richard finally relaxes, but Laura is still alive. Fighting against the freezing waves, she somehow reaches the shore and finds a small house where she spends the night, barely surviving. Meanwhile, Richard proceeds with his plan. The event begins, and the girl disguised as Anne is brought to the stage to announce the will. Following Richard's script, she begins speaking, declaring that she is transferring all her property to her husband. Before she can finish, Richard interrupts dramatically, pretending to be a loving husband who has done everything to save his wife. But his performance is suddenly shattered. Laura walks in, alive. She demands the microphone, but Richard refuses. The girl, now realizing the truth, insists that Laura be allowed to speak. Laura takes the stage and reveals the real will. She reads it aloud, exposing that Anne had actually donated all her wealth to a trust. She then questions the impersonator, asking if she wrote the statement herself. The girl admits that she did. At that moment, Richard loses control and makes a fatal mistake. In anger, he reveals the truth himself, shouting that she is not Anne at all. His entire plan collapses instantly. Everyone realizes that he must have killed his wife and brought in a lookalike to steal her wealth. Knowing he is exposed, Richard takes the girl hostage at knife point and tries to escape. Panic spreads as someone attempts to call the police. As he tries to flee, a shot is fired but misses him. Just when it seems like he might escape, Laura charges forward and strikes him with a metal rod, knocking him unconscious. Moments later, the police arrive and arrest Richard. The truth is finally revealed. Laura has proven that a woman was present in cabin 10, that a murder had taken place, and that the victim was none other than Anne herself. With the culprit behind bars, her mission is complete. Her vacation ends, and she returns to her normal life. Back at her office, she writes an article about the entire incident, which once again becomes a massive success. But this time, her story carries pain. She writes about everyone involved and mourns the loss of Ben, the innocent man who sacrificed his life. In the end, Laura stands alone, carrying the memories of everything that happened, knowing that some stories leave scars that never fade.